Holly Madison, 42, received an autism diagnosis just this summer. The former Playboy model tells people that she truly treasures the revelation since it helped her reconcile a lot of her earlier interpersonal experiences. After leaving the house, she went on to become a best-selling author, podcast host, and producer of true crime series. Madison, who is now 43, states, "I'm so glad I got that diagnosis because I can recognize how I operate the way I do, why I operate the way I do, and how I relate to people. Knowing that has boosted my social skills," I said. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a neurological and developmental illness that affects a person's ability to interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave, according to the National Institutes of Health. ASD can be diagnosed at any age, despite the fact that symptoms often manifest in the first 2 years of life. In an appearance in December on the Talking to Death podcast, she stated, "The doctor told me that I have high executive functioning, which means I can pretty much go about my life and do things normally. I believe that people find it offensive because I tend to be quieter. I only recently learned how to make eye contact, and I spend a lot of time thinking about myself." She laughed and continued, "They're like, damn, you're not extremely interested in me, F you. Please don't take it personally, I'm just not as socially adept as other folks." I enjoy being able to clarify that. Even when she lived in the Playboy mansion for almost all of her 20s, Madison has always been upfront about how difficult it was for her to relate to her peers. "When I go back, I can clearly remember how difficult it was for me to connect with people in the past. I believe that influenced some of the choices I made," she now says to People. "I think it was just being on the spectrum that was a difficulty for me, but it felt like I connected with certain people easier and I thought, oh, this must be meant to be because I never connected with anyone before, kind of thing." Madison dated Pasquale Rotella after leaving the house at the age of 29, and the two had 2 children together, 11-year-old Rainbow Aurora and 7-year-old Forrest Leonardo. Despite the fact that the two divorced in 2019, Madison still looks back on their time together with nostalgia, thanks to her 2 children. "I know many others who went through something similar to what I went through, at the house, to the point where they claimed to be celibate for a while. For me, it wasn't the case," says Madison. "I immediately resumed dating. And I'm happy I did as I had 2 wonderful children as a result." After learning that she has autism, Madison, who has supposedly been dating Zach Bagans for a number of years, praises him for how he has handled the news. The Lethally Blonde producer says, "I'm lucky enough to be dating somebody who just kind of understood me and accepts me for who I am, so getting the diagnosis wasn't super shocking to him. I'm fortunate that I haven't had a lot of difficulty connecting emotionally with someone in a close and personal way in recent relationships." Lethally Blonde, Madison's new sitcom, premieres on ID on Mondays at 10/9C.